name's Heather, and I'm going to talk a little bit about Camp Karen to you today. The one thing I wanted to tell you right away was, well, that's the sign you see as you're driving up to camp. It's not very big. It's very unassuming and quiet, a little bit like the camp is until you get to the end of the road and then things aren't so quiet anymore. Camp Glenmore is actually celebrating their 90th anniversary this year. That's crazy, 90 years. So in thinking with Julia about how we were going to talk to camp, or talk about camp with you, I asked Jean Cook if she would be willing to talk to you a little bit about her camp experience at Camp Glenmore. She says it was forever ago. I don't believe that it was quite that long ago. And then I found out this morning that she and Catherine Brown went to Camp Glenmore kind of together, but not. Jean says, oh no, she was born far after me. So I have a few little questions for Jean, and she's gonna let you know. Al, this is mic 3. So Jean, what year did you go to camp?
I forget exactly the year, but it was in the early 50s. So do the math. And I was about 10 or 11 years old. I went, I think, for 2 years, not consecutively, but I went. There were 6 of us at home, so we had to take turns going. I think I went twice.
That's awesome. Can anybody do the math? Early 50s. So Alex says that's about 70 years ago that Jean went to camp. I think that's pretty awesome. Jean told me as we were talking that she does have some really great memories of camp. So can you tell me what camp was like in the 1950s?
My memory is somewhat sketchy, but the one thing I do remember about camp, aside from the fact that there was a lot of people there, which I was not used to having a lot of people, we slept in bunkhouses that were held 8 or 10 other people. That was different. But the big thing I remember is the campfire. I love the campfire that we had every night. We would sit around in a big circle with the biggest, humongous fire going, and we'd sit around and we'd sing all sorts of songs. I learned a lot of new songs at camp that I would sing. People get tired of hearing me sing these songs after I came back. And the other thing I remember is the crafts. I'm not a crafty person, never have been, and we'd make all these silly little things that I take them home to my mom and dad and be so proud of them. They were kind of tacky, but to me they were pretty nice.
That's awesome, Jean. Do you know what? I think you'd be really happy to know that camp still does a campfire every night, and they still do crafts, and the parents are still tired of singing the songs when they come home after camp. So what would you tell the campers of today?
I think the one thing that I would tell them, and I'm sure this is happening with the new modern technology, but I met a lot of girls, the other thing about camp was a girls' camp and a boys' camp. There was none of this co-ed business. It was just, well, girls one week, boys the next week, girls another week, all along. But I met a lot of nice people, a lot of fun people, and the only way you have of keeping into contact with them was by snail mail. And then that mean you had to have stamps and all that. Well, nobody wrote letters very much back then, so we never had stamps, and I never kept in touch with any of the other girls. And of course, when I would go back 2 years later, it would be a different group of kids, so I never kept in contact with any of the people I met at camp. And nowadays, I'm sure with email and that, it's a lot easier.
For sure, I think that's awesome. So Jean's advice to campers of today would be to keep in touch with your camp friends, or at least try to. Isn't Jean amazing? I think that's fantastic. 70 years ago. So the other person I was going to talk to was Alex, who's sitting right behind me, which is going to make it a little bit hard. I might sit down and turn around and face him. Alex, how many years have you been going to camp?
So I've been going to camp for 9 years so far, so quite a bit.
A little while. I remember the first day we dropped him off in the bush. I cried on the way home. Ashley cried because she couldn't stay. It was a nightmare. Do you have a favorite camp activity?
Well, all of the camp activities are great, but probably canoeing is the best. You're just out on the water, silence. It's good.
So because it's also Volunteer Sunday, and you went to PIF last year, PIF Camp is a camp for children ages 13 and up, and it is a place where they can volunteer in the community of camp. So in the greater camp community, they volunteer right at camp, and they go outside of camp. So Alex, you went to PIF last year, and can you tell me an experience from PIF or why you liked PIF?
So PIF basically is just us going around and helping people in the surrounding neighborhoods, helping around camp, doing work and stuff like that. So we cleaned cars, we helped at local food banks, and we sung at a retirement home as well, which was very nice. In fact, actually, I got my ice cream stolen, but we're not going to talk about that too much, but yeah.
He actually told me that he'd tell you the story about Rosemary, who he met at camp.
Okay. So basically, after we sung at the retirement home, we had to socialize with people. So I met this one lady called Rosemary, and she was very nice. And then they started handing out, they were like, yeah, you guys did a great job. They gave us ice cream sandwiches. I opened mine, part of mine was still stuck in the wrapping paper. So I had half of it in my hand, the other half in the paper. So Rosemary was like, here, can I see that? And I was like, okay, yeah, sure, go ahead. And she took it from me and just started, whoa! And I just jumped back in surprise, and I was like, whoa. And yeah, it was surprising, yeah.
And Alex, did Rosemary have a friend?
Oh yes, Rosemary did have a friend, and she warned me, and she said, you see that cane of hers? That's not for walking. And then I was already backing up, but she started trying to hit me with the cane, so yeah, it was okay.
PIF camp was exciting for my son, for sure. Tell us about your camp experience. So when we dropped Alex off for the first time at camp, he was 5. And he's gone every year since. Sometimes he said, I don't really want to go to camp. We've always talked about, will you ever work at camp? Do you think you want to spend more than a week at camp? And Alex has been the kid that said, no, I'm good, I'm going to go to camp, and then I'm going to come home, 1 week's fine. And
So after PIF, I found that I really enjoyed going out helping people, and it just did put a lot of good in me. So I decided, you know what, I want to work at camp. I want to do this. I want to spend time with other people, and I want to help people to make their lives better. So, yeah.
so Alex has some great aspirations too. He wants to go to PIF again this year just because he wants to pay it forward. And then he's hoping to do LITs the year after, and then maybe even get a job at camp, which I think is pretty cool. Have any of you other guys been at camp? You've been at camp. You've been at camp. I know because there's a picture of you coming up. Anybody else know that you've been at camp? Do you guys have any memories of camp? Do you have any memories of camp you'd like to share? No. Do you have any? Okay.
Well, at camp we sang a lot and I really liked the songs, so I memorized them. And then when I came home, I did the actions for them and put on a little show for my mom.
I think that's fantastic. As I said, the songs still come back home, Jean. Do you been to camp? No? Yeah. Do you have any memories of camp you'd like to share?
I don't remember much from Camp Canada. I only went twice, but I went to Canada Youth, which is also a camp in the summer. And it's at Brock University, and they have this indoor area with like a waterfall and everything. So me and my friends, we went up to the top. Well, I met all of them there, and we hung out. And we like dangled our feet off the top of the waterfall. We like got a picture of all of us, and this was like all over the social media and stuff.
So Ashley always wants to share about camp, don't you? Want to tell these guys a little bit about camp? Ashley, how many years have you been at camp?
This year will be my 9th year.
So after she cried all the way home because she wanted to stay at camp, Perry and I gave in and let her stay the next year. A little young, but she stayed.
My favorite part about camp is I love the swimming and when we have camp-wide activities and we play games like tag and across the whole camp, and it's really fun. And one of my favorite parts of camp is the songs.
What songs did you like specifically?
There's one song called Rockin' Kumbaya, the Shepherd song, Sia Humba.
I have a lot of favorite camp songs too, and one of them is one that I'm going to teach all of you today. I've been going, this year will be my 12th year at camp, and this is going to be my first year on staff, which is really exciting for me. And one of my favorite memories of camp, I remember as a little girl, ever since I started going to camp, I looked up to every counselor I had, and I always thought they were so cool. And ever since I was a little girl, I've wanted to be a counselor, and I did the LIT program last year, and we did it for a month, and we went on an outdoor trip for a week, and then we came back and stayed with kids in the cabins for a while, and we just kind of practiced our leadership skills, and it was really cool.
That sounds awesome, Haven. So you're going to work at camp this summer,
Yes, I am.
and you're going to teach us a song? Oh, I can't wait. And then you can all sing songs at home, just like we all do. What's the song you're going to teach us?
It's a song that consists of 4 different songs at the same time. It consists of a song called I'm Gonna Sing, When the Saints Come Marching In, Swing Low Sweet Chariot, and a song called This Train. So I'm gonna have Madison, Jessica, and Julia help me with this song.
So, this song does have accents, which means I won't be able to use a mic. So I'm going to use my camp voice. So I'm going to lead the song called I'm Gonna Sing, and I'm gonna sing it once for you guys, and I'm gonna show you the accents. I'm gonna have this part of the sanctuary. Yeah, so. The song I'm doing goes, I'm gonna sing, 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 I'm gonna shout, 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 I'm gonna sing, I'm gonna shout unto the Lord. Makes no difference what they say, I'm gonna praise Him anyway, I'm gonna sing my praises to the Lord. Do we want to try that together just once? So we're gonna I'm gonna sing, 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 I'm gonna shout, 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 I'm gonna sing, I'm gonna shout unto the Lord. Makes no difference what they say, I'm gonna praise Him anyway, I'm gonna sing my praises to the Lord. Yeah, so I'm gonna pass it over to Madison to teach the next song.
So I don't have a camp voice, so I'm going to use my mic. So mine is When the Saints Go Marching In, and the actions are pretty simple. Oh, when the saints go marching in, oh, when the saints go marching in, oh, Lord, I love to be in that number, oh, when the saints go marching in.
Who's singing with you?
It's balcony and underneath the balcony. So
The song that I'm going to sing is Swing Low, Sweet Chariot. Are there Camp Karen actions for this one? No? Okay, I grew up with camp actions for this one, so I'll teach you my camp's actions, and then you guys can bring them back to Camp Karen. It will be wonderful. So we'll try it. It's Swing Low, Sweet Chariot. It goes, swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home.
okay. So mine is this
the wings. So mine is, this train is bound for glory, this train, woo, woo. This train is bound for glory, this train, woo, woo. This train is bound for glory, doesn't carry nothing but the righteous and the holy. This train is bound for glory, this train.
All right,
So do we wanna start?
let's try this.
So we're gonna start with my song, and we're gonna do it once. And then Madison's song will join in with us. And we'll do that one once, and then Julia will join in, we'll do it once, and then Jessica will join. We'll do it once, and then all over again together.
You only sing with your designated leader.
Yeah.
Okay?
I'm gonna sing, sing, sing. I'm gonna shout, shout, shout. I'm gonna sing, I'm gonna shout unto the Lord. Makes no difference what they say. I'm gonna praise Him anyway. I'm gonna sing my praises to the Lord. I'm gonna sing, sing, sing. I'm gonna shout, shout, shout. I'm gonna sing, shout, shout unto the Lord. Makes no difference what they say. I'm gonna praise Him anyway. I'm gonna sing my praises to the Lord. I'm gonna sing, sing, I'm
Sweet chariot, someone's going to carry me home. Sing low, sweet chariot, someone's going to carry me home. Swing this train, is someone's going to chariot, someone's going to carry me home. Swing this train, is someone's going to chariot, this train is carrying me home. This train is someone's going to chariot. This train is carrying me home. This train is someone's going to chariot. This train is carrying me home. That's awesome! Thanks, James. That was awesome. Thank you, Madison. Thank you, Jessica.
a little slide. I can just use my great big voice, it's okay. We have a little slideshow put together. You'll see lots of kids from our church. You'll see adults from our church. Julia and I went to Camp Karen for the first time together. Not this past or the summer before. And that's what camp looks like in winter. It's fantastic. Those are the cabins. Pay it forward camp. This is part of family camp. That's when Julia and I went to camp, and you're going to see lots of pictures of adults. Family camp was a really moving experience for all of us. You'll see your grandkids. The picture with the kids with their hands up, let me tell you, they think they're on a roller coaster. Who cares? That's campfire, family camp. It's not just for children. This is Julia and Reg, and they're taking the leap of faith. Yes, they jumped off that pole.
That's it.
That's it.
So Julia and I went to camp together, as I said, to family camp, not last year, the year before, and that was my first time at camp, beyond dropping off the kids. Dropping off the kids is a pretty easy thing. You get there, you drop them off, and you say goodbye. You pick them up the next week, they all do a sing-song for you, you get to see all the kids, hear them all. So they do a little concert for them, they call it Closing Campfire, and then off you go home again. When Julie and I were there, we realized the special need of camp, and I think we realized how much it changed people. So she's going to talk a little bit about the Campership Fund, and that's that.
Okay. So the Campership Fund is part of First Presbyterian Church's role in helping families send their kids to camp, because camp is expensive, and it gets expensive especially when you have lots in your family. For families who need more assistance than what we can do, Camp Karen also has a campership program, and they have donations coming in of $900 a month, specifically geared towards sponsoring kids to come to camp. So that's always an option as well for families to apply to Camp Karen. Our campership fund is shared with our Canada Youth Fund, and we are hoping to help families in any way that we can with a sponsorship amount. So in order to do that, families who are thinking about sending your kids to camp, but if it's getting a bit pricey, please ask for help. We have an online form that's on our church website, and we take the money, all of the requests from the families, and we divide it up evenly between all of the campers who are going, so that we can give those families the help that they need in order to make camp an amazing experience for families and for campers. So, hence the hot dogs. Because there's not hot dogs after this service in the Welcome Center, of course, like I mentioned before, there is donations. If you are willing and able to give, we would appreciate that for those families. And that concludes our Camp Karen portion of the Sunday. So thank you so much to Heather and Alex and Jean and Ashley and Madison and Haven and Jessica for teaching us a bit about camp. For all of the kids who are here, what I would like you to do is just relocate our bums just in front of here, and then I need you to come forward again, so don't go far. Just come sit right here, and then we'll call you forward at the next section, okay? Because this morning we're also going to talk about volunteering, and all of the amazing volunteers that we have in this church through the Children and Youth Ministry, and they all come to